Hey everyone, so this video is not going to be a review video on any hemp company, but it's going to be more just answering the question of what is hemp. So probably should have made this video first. I know some people don't know what hemp is. They're familiar with like CBD or recreational cannabis. They don't really know the difference between all of them. So it's all the cannabis plant, but there's different varieties inside of that. And so in this video, I'll basically answer the question, what is hemp? I'm going to talk about CBD hemp, and industrial, what I would call industrial hemp. So when someone says hemp, they are referring to cannabis that has less than 0.3% THC. So I'll go into some details now, and I hope this answers some questions for people. Okay, so first I will talk about hemp grown for CBD. When you're growing hemp for CBD, it's grown in more of a horticulture model where each plant, it's kind of like an apple field. They have their own space, they're kind of socially distanced. It allows the farmers to kind of give each plant or get access to each individual plant, and it gives the plant room to grow and expand. And so these farmers, they're only growing female plants. The whole purpose is to encourage flower and resin production. Male plants produce seeds. So in the world of CBD, that's not what you want at all. Similar to the recreational cannabis industry, it's all about the resin. So the flower can be sold as smokable hemp, which is kind of getting banned in some states. I think there's a lot of lobbying going on from Big Tobacco. I think Big Tobacco is scared of smokable hemp. Won't go into that right now. So it's either sold as smokable hemp or the resins are extracted using various different extraction methods, and then that oil is used for additives in food or supplement products, tinctures, topicals, vapes, any of those products that you see out in a store with the word CBD on it. It's basically the resin extracted from the plant. And so CBD is just one of the active cannabinoids in the cannabis plant. Obviously there's not going to be any THC, which is usually credited for that like psychoactive feeling that cannabis gives you. Like I said before, hemp will usually, it'll be considered hot if it has more than 0.3% THC. That's kind of guidelines from the FDA. And so that is what CBD hemp is. Okay, so now I'll talk about what's considered industrial hemp. So this kind of hemp is grown in more of an agricultural model with the plants very close together, similar to like a cornfield. And so these fields would be male and female plants. Like industrial hemp, hemp for CBD, recreational cannabis, they're all in the cannabis family, but are so distinct because of the generations of selective breeding for specific characteristics. So like industrial hemp is either bred specifically for high seed production or strong fiber production. CBD hemp is grown to have low THC and high in the other cannabinoids and terpenes. And then obviously recreational cannabis could be bred to have high THC, just overall high cannabinoid and terpene content, and just to encourage that resin production. And so on the industrial side of things, the end uses are either for fiber or grain. And inside of that, they're grown and harvested a little bit differently depending on which you're growing for. And there's some dual crop varieties for seed and fiber, but from what I've heard from farmers and kind of experts, they tend not to produce as well as a plant focused just on either seed production or just fiber production. So on the grain side of industrial hemp, it's all about seed production. So the hulled hemp seed, which is basically just like the inside of the seed, take the hard shell out. People will call it like a hemp heart. It's high in plant protein and essential fatty acids, so it'll be used as a food source. It's really good like in granola or oatmeal or yogurt. Throw some of that in there, it's really good. And it also produces hemp seed oil, which is used in topicals and skincare products. So it's different than CBD. There's no CBD in the hemp seed. And so because this industry is still not super regulated by the FDA, I have seen products, I think it was like a chapstick, that said, the label said that it contained a certain milligrams of CBD, and then when I looked at the ingredients, the ingredient was hemp seed oil. So those are not the same thing. So when you're doing, like when you're gonna buy a CBD product, make sure you do research ahead of time on the company. They should be very transparent with all of their testing info to make it like really well known that they're using legitimate CBD, high quality, American grown, and that kind of stuff. So on the fiber side of industrial hemp, farmers want their plants to produce long and strong fibers. So these plants, once they're harvested, the process is they'll typically let them what's called ret in the field. So they'll do a field retting. I have seen some water retting. I don't think that's as popular. But basically retting, they cut the plants down and it essentially is drying in the field. They'll turn them a couple times, and what this process does is microbes will begin the process to basically decompose the plant. They're eating away at the natural gum that kind of holds the fiber to the woody core on the inside. And so once that process is done and they're dried a little bit, there is a mechanical separation called decortication. And so that physically separates the fiber from that inside woody core. From there would be what's called degumming, which is essentially just breaking down, it's called lignins. It's a natural gum that holds each individual fiber together. So you got to break those apart so that you get really like fine fiber strands. And then depending on the end use, there's a lot of additional post-processing that would be done, but those end uses are what become textiles or insulation, building materials, bioplastics, composite materials like BMW. Some of their panels on the inside of their cars are made out of hemp fiber. So there's a lot of end uses for the fiber. There's a ton of R&D going on, so it's really interesting to see like new products that people are making out of hemp fiber. And that inside woody core is what is used as hempcrete. So it's completely separate. Basically, you shred it up like wood chips, and that would be what's used as like animal bedding, or if you've ever seen hempcrete, it's like little wood chips, but it's hemp wood chips essentially. And so I'll probably make another video in the future about like everything about hempcrete, because I'm really into that as well. But that's just one of the byproducts of the hemp plant. So it's pretty cool. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. I appreciate you staying with me. Just did like a basic overview of the different varieties of hemp and kind of what hemp is. So I hope this informed some people, gave you some information, made you more curious to go do some more research on your own. If you liked this video, let me know. If you have any specific questions, hit the comments or DM me. I'm going to be doing a mix of hemp reviews and informative videos like this, so if anyone has any specific questions, I would be happy to do another video about that. But in the meantime, I think the next video is going to be another review video, so keep an eye out for that in the next couple days, and thanks again for tuning in.